Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And we got an easy one for you this morning. But before we get into all of that, you know what time it is, man. Zoe's got some shout-outs.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Twine. Hey, shout out to everybody out here that's listening. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. And for some odd reason, Calvin would like to add the FRC. Shout out to you as well. Shout out to all the listeners, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Let's go.
All right, everybody. So this week, we talking about get a job. But it's not what you think. So strap in. Let the kings talk about it. All right, good people. Hey, welcome back to another edition of Kingly Conversations, as I am every single week. You know who it is, man. It's Alan.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Twine. Ask me about my podcast. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill.
All right, sir. It's your show.
It is.
While you over there down in that old evil coffee demon.
That coffee good for you. Okay, so we're doing, the title was Get a Job. It was Get a Job. But it's actually talking about being an entrepreneur. The thought, or I'm trying to think of how this came about. Long story short, is you started a business and you don't have enough money. So get a job. Get a job.
Oh, okay.
Get a job. No joke. Everybody has a hustle, side hustle, things they want to do. And until it gets to that point where you can sustain yourself, I'm telling you to get a job.
I see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You have bills. You have things to take care of. So in process, get a job. Get a job and get on your feet. And if you're using the money to get your startup going, then do that until it's up and running. Don't just sit there and wait in the sideline. But I think that's one of those things we don't see until after the fact. And young people like to say, I'm going for it and I'm going to just be homeless. And yeah, that's great tenacity, but...
Great what?
Tenacity, but...
Okay.
Get a job. Get a job.
I see.
I mean, because
How dare you, sir?
No, because some young people, they live at home. No, it ain't. It's not. And I'm just trying to be nice about it. Some people have the luxury of living at home.
What you mean? Oh.
Yeah, some people
Working at home or living at home?
Living at home with like their parents or whatever. They don't have the responsibility of bills and everything else, and they're trying to be an entrepreneur.
What age group are we talking?
It don't matter. Just saying. Just generalizing. Okay? But it happens.
I don't like it.
It happens. And so that's why I said get a job. I mean, I'm not telling you not to pursue your dreams, not to do it, but maybe the way you're going about it, because it's a burden. It's not helping right now. So you have to do something.
That's part of the struggle, baby.
That's the struggle.
Let's get it. We out here. We gonna struggle to get it.
Oh, we gonna glorify.
And if I gotta stay with my mom and pops while I get my thing up and going, that's what we gonna do.
But when it's not up and running, it's not benefiting. It's hurting. I mean, I understand.
I don't
it's
agree with
pains.
you when you say the age don't matter. I don't agree with you with that.
Why?
Because are you talk what? Okay, let's what does it actually say? Compartmentalize it. All right, let's break it down.
Okay.
So you talking about a young cat that's out here. What if you can't get a job? What you want to do your business? So you stand in the house.
So you don't. All right, that's perfect. You can't get a job, and you want to start a business. Guess what you need to start the business?
Money.
Interesting. So my next question is, where do you get the money from?
Your parents.
Okay. So you're hurting instead of helping. Now, if they believe in you and you don't have a business plan, and if you don't actually have a plan to go by and you don't have an actual vision, you just saying, I'm going to just hustle.
But isn't that part of the hustle? To get
Part of the hustle is actually reading, educating yourself.
All that.
And
Yeah, that's part of the
going through the
hustle.
whole process of getting a clear vision and understanding of what you're trying to do and how you're going to make the money.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you're going to spend a lot of money. You're going to use
Waste.
somebody else's money. You're going to become that prodigal and waste the money. You're going to waste it. And then you're going to be looking for people to give you more instead of getting the job, managing your money, actually planning out how you're going to use the money to get where you're trying to go. Because most of the time, most entrepreneurs start off with a survival mode. Most of us start off of the simple fact, I want to make money. Not understanding that I need to learn how to manage money first. Because as an entrepreneur, you have to manage the money better than you did when you had a job. It's crazy, but you have to.
So what are you saying to those people who haven't had the opportunity to manage money from a job and they just getting out here, just getting started?
And just getting started, I mean, I would tell you, talk to somebody. Find an entrepreneur to sit up under them and watch. Me personally, I would. Some people say go to school, write a business plan, and all that. I said no, go find somebody who's doing what you want to do, and go watch them, and actually watch them and work with them.
But okay, so what do you say to those people who don't have that connection that they can go and watch somebody, but they can watch some? Oh, sorry, that's what I mean. They can watch somebody on YouTube, or they can watch some inspirational stuff on.
There's always whatever business.
Read a book.
I couldn't find anybody for my clothing company.
Did you go to a clothing store in the mall?
I didn't want to be in a store, so they couldn't tell me how to do that. I don't want a store.
Okay.
That was the problem. I wanted to be 100% online, day one, never have a store.
And you never saw anybody do it.
Never saw it. Never saw anybody in a circle I had access to do it without paying someone money to sit in a class. Right. So there was nobody, because everybody was like, "Oh yeah, well, just keep a bunch of shirts in your car." No. Because I was, one of the things I did learn from it, I wanted to begin with the end in mind. Sure, I could. The problem for me with having stuff in the trunk of your car is you needed the capital to get your initial stock to have stuff in the car, or you needed to have the capital to get your initial stock to go talk to somebody in it. Because one of the things that we had talked about doing was putting, basically on consignment, putting stuff in somebody else's store, but you got to still. You essentially have to spend the money with no expectation of return,
right?
Other than name recognition or brand recognition. The problem is if you're putting your clothing in someone else's store as an unrecognizable brand, it then becomes recognizable to that store and not you. And so those were the things that I would end up trying to navigate. And there was essentially nobody, because nobody had done it. Nobody in my circle, nobody in my circles had done that successfully. There's a bunch of people out here printing shirts. They printing shirts in the moment. I wanted to build a brand. I wanted Soulfire Clothing to be a brand, not just we made some Hey Auntie shirts because that's what everybody doing right now. We made some of these shirts because that's what everybody doing right now. We made some of that because that's what everybody doing right now. I wanted it to be just no different than the God is Dope shirts that everybody's seeing. It is a at least nationally recognized brand, and they had a single store in Atlanta and online. That was it. That's still it. And they sell shirts worldwide. That was what I was looking for.
The model.
That was the model that I was looking for. That at most you had a single boutique store where people would actually be like, we're going to go to the boutique store because they sell stuff in the boutique store that they may not have at all online. But they built their recognition online and then opened a store.
So if you want the exclusive, come out, check out the boutique.
That's it.
That's the name of the game.
Now, they also are in the Mecca for black people, as they call it, Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm not saying, so what I'm saying is that the people that had done had also had access to things that I didn't have access to, or people that I didn't have access to. Because I never forget Damon John, one of the founders of FUBU, was telling his story, and he was talking about how they were able to capitalize on the fact that LL Cool J lived in their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. That's how he started
they got the
name
out. Yeah,
right. And so they would even tell a story. They had LL Cool J put a shirt on, took a picture, and then they went to like a trade show where they didn't even have a booth, but they would convince suppliers to come back to their hotel room. And they say, look, even LL Cool J is already one of our ambassadors wearing our stuff. So, but I didn't have access to any of that. So I couldn't say, okay, I'm gonna do it that way. So so that means if you don't have it in your circle, then now you gotta spend money.
You gotta spend money. There go the issue. That's why I said it.
And so I don't just, you have to have some form of making money that is not necessarily in your business. I won't necessarily say it's a job, and the only reason I say that is because depending on what you have, if you have a talent or a skill for doing resumes, you can put yourself on Fiverr or one of these other sites and write resumes till you blue in the face with people looking for a job. But you got to take your talent, skills, and abilities and figure out a way to market it that also gives you the time to build the business that you want to build. Mm-hmm. Whatever that is. So if you real good in the gym, maybe you might want to think about getting into personal training. Because then you can certainly make $100 an hour as a personal trainer if you're good, and then you can spend the rest of that time building your business.
That's actually a good idea.
That's all it is. All entrepreneurship, all life is a series of ideas, and if you executing on those ideas. So many people have ideas that they don't execute on. And then they wonder why they are in the space that they're in, because they have ideas that they didn't execute on and monetize. So anyway,
I said that 3 days ago. I said, "Did you do it though? Did you do
and
it?"
For most people, it's going to be a no. And sometimes, listen, the truth is, you can't. You don't. There's not enough hours in the day. If you're a really heavy ideas person, there ain't enough hours in the day to do all the ideas that come across your mind. There really isn't.
So to clarify, other than get a job to get other income, you can get angel investors and loans and all this other stuff. I'm just making that one point of getting a job. Now, with the living in your parents, with your parents part. I mean, I would say, if you are only affecting you, and this is where sometimes the challenge of entrepreneurship comes in, is if you are young enough, you can be homeless on your own. The problem is, if you have obligations, those other people didn't ask for this. Correct.
And so you got to take care of them. And a lot of times as entrepreneurs think, well, if I take care of the business, I take care of them. Well, no, you got to take care of them and then take care of the business. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because they didn't ask to be homeless.
Right.
Behind your mistakes.
Hey, look at here, man. I'm trying to get to the moon. All right. So with that being said, I got to do some things, and that's going to cause me to not be around as much, and I might be out here moving back and forth. So this is the plan. This is the goal.
That's fine and good.
Let's get it.
That's fine and good if you don't, like he said.
I'm talking about people with the responsibility.
No. If you got kids and you have bills and obligations, that's a negative.
You got to know what you're willing to sacrifice.
No,
because there are entrepreneurs out here that have sacrificed their entire existence to have success in entrepreneurship,
and it's lonely at the top, baby.
They are definitely lonely and miserable.
It's not worth it.
I mean,
to me, it ain't worth it either.
It's not worth it.
To me, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
But there are people who feel like whatever the cost is worth it to be an Elon Musk.
Let's take another route. Let's take another route then. Okay, y'all say it's not worth it, and somebody going out there driven to go chase their dreams, become an entrepreneur, and start their own business. But let's talk about the option of taking those people that you're responsible for, take them with you on this journey, and y'all and make it happen.
That's a slow journey.
Well, you can take them with you on a journey as long as they agree to go on a journey.
Okay. So if they agree, okay, this is the game plan. Everything's drawn up. This is what it is, and they agree, and you go.
Yes, but what if they don't?
Well,
then now you got decisions to make. Now you have decisions to make as the person. Because see, what I see happen most often is they got together as these people.
You better living over here, man.
And then one person decides they're gonna change. And this is why I say people grow together or they grow apart, because one person decides they're going to change, but they don't do anything to try to bring the other person along on the incremental parts of that journey. They don't drop hints. They don't drop context clues. They don't say nothing. And then all of a sudden they expect this other person in the relationship to be who they are when they never tried to bring them along on the part of the journey that turned them into who they are.
Man.
So that to me is where part of that problem is.
You better get on this train.
Then
get you a ticket.
Well, then be divorced.
Be divorced. I'm telling you, nigga, that's what happens though. A lot of people lose everything. You lose your family, your wife, your kids.
You got the money.
You want to know? You want to know why?
You got the prestige.
You got the bag.
But that's the price you pay.
You want to know why? Because y'all say when people get together, they change after the fact. Well, why don't y'all have a conversation prior to y'all getting together?
That's what he said.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
I said you changed and you didn't even try to bring the other person along because you just thought they was going to come along.
Yeah.
Because you said it.
But
like
also,
you somebody, like you God. Get out of here. Sit down.
Also, like you, and I use myself as an example. I told my wife up front, I said, hey, eventually this is where I'm going. I have no choice. Like this is the road I have to follow. Like I know I have to go down this road. So if you going, just know some point in time, this is where we might end up. She said, okay. My thing is always communicate. That's all you can do. You can communicate your part and your expectations and your dreams and visions. And then you give the person a choice. You give them the option to say, okay, they want to go along for the ride or not.
And with that communication, I would also say that if you can't communicate it well enough to help them to understand, if you can't communicate it well enough so that they buy into your belief about where you need to go, that's your fault. Because you are not an effective enough communicator to do that. Okay. Which means you need to up your skills in communication.
All right. So I'm glad you said that as far as not being able to communicate clearly. I think that is a great segue for this next bullet here. I see emotional blinders. So what are you putting emotional blinders up to? So
you putting the emotional blinders aren't for the people in your house. The emotional blinders are because society, depending on your business, society, and I see it all the time. I see people saying it all the time, that when you become an entrepreneur and you say something about it in your social media feeds, it's crickets. But you get a new job and everybody want to congratulate you. Or you become an entrepreneur and all of the people who said they were your friends don't participate in your business in any way. They don't buy from your business. They don't help you promote your business. They don't say, oh, you know what? I got a friend of mine that does shirts. When somebody says, oh, I was looking for some, maybe some graphic tees, or I was looking for such and such. And you say, oh, I got it. Because I tell people all the time that somebody's like, oh, I'm looking for some skincare or something. I'm like, oh, my little sister does that. Let me give you her website. That is, to me, that's also, I do buy from her, but that's also support. Right. And people have a huge problem with the people that they thought cared.
Listen, he talking right now. I wish you could have that boom, 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 boom.
I'm just telling you. And so for a lot of people, it's tough because you're like, I thought these people would support me. So that's when I say emotional blinders, it means this is the goal. The people, I'm in front taking all the arrows, protecting the people that are behind me. But the people that are behind me are also giving me that encouragement to continue to go forward. And nobody else that's not in this situation matters.
No. That don't seem one-sided,
boy.
How is it one-sided?
Listen. I'm talking.
Because I'm not talking about the people that are at my address.
Let that man do it.
I'm not talking about anybody that is
so
in my corner.
So okay. All right.
Let that man talk.
You're right.
Go ahead.
I'm just talking about for those who aren't supportive in your house, but you got a goal or dream. So what are you supposed to do? Sit on your hands?
Hurt. You're supposed to be in pain and do it when you can, and become a better communicator so you can try to get them on your side.
Do I need to push these buttons myself?
Fine.
You got about 20 more to go.
Because nobody said. Here's the thing. I think people that are in entrepreneurship wanted it to be easy, but I always tell people like the people that are in your life, you picked them. With the exception of the kids, they came because you picked the other person, right? you picked a location to make deposits, and so now you got the kids.
Deposits is crazy.
Hit them again.
So I was just saying, you picked where you were gonna lay down, and so you didn't think about all these other things. You just were thinking about having a good time, and so now here you are in a situation with potentially someone that maybe you should not have been with.
That's so. I will say this, man. I'm gonna play the advocate. Oh, now he know what the button is. He gonna reach over.
Look, he just blew up your runway. Go ahead,
man.
So I'm just looking at it just at a different angle right now, or trying to look at it at a different angle. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. So this, to anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur who wasn't beforehand, before they got with their significant other, their baby mama, their girlfriend, XYZ, whatever the case is, your significant other.
But they just baby mama, they don't matter. They don't live in your house.
No. I'm saying.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you didn't have the ambition to be an entrepreneur.
And then switch.
Yep.
And now you see that, you know what, this job ain't working out. I feel as if something is calling for me, and then you find your niche, and now you want to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So now you telling me that no, just sit on your hands and hurt.
No. So
that's not what I'm saying at all.
The transitional period.
I think you're still missing what I'm saying.
The transition.
Yeah. If you weren't communicating during the transition, and then and then somebody's upset because their partner doesn't feel the same way that they do.
I get that.
Then who's to blame in that situation? If you didn't communicate the changes that were going on inside you, if you didn't communicate the changes that were going on in your mind, your spirit, your soul, if you just said, you know what, because my thing is, if the first time, and this is just me and how I am, when it was like, man, this, I don't know if this I don't feel like I'm gonna really get to where I want us to get to with this job. That would have been a conversation. Like that would the day I had the thought, or the next day, that I would be like, you know what, I don't know if we're gonna get there.
But I think Zoe's saying, when I'm in that period of this isn't for me now. The 9 to 5 not going to work now.
Right.
That person always had the assumption that, okay, this is how we will be, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, nah, this is not going to work. And without the communication you're saying,
right,
without that,
you got decisions to make.
But how do I get to that place of I still want to do, and I need to get in motion, but I know this is going to be a problem on this end.
I'm not, and it's not even that you haven't communicated clearly. Like, right, I'm talking about those who have let's just say as clear as possible, a clear vision of what they want, and they try to communicate this with their significant other, however that come. Let's be real. Everybody doesn't like change,
right? But they don't. Nobody's there to teach you about the transitional period. Nobody teaches how you navigate that.
So with everything that we've said and talked about, so now at this point, I've communicated clearly. They're not on the same page. So now I got to sit on my hands.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Again,
he's saying
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we think we communicated it clearly. Did we communicated it in a way they could receive it?
But what if they don't support? Because some people don't support.
Then I said, you got decisions to make.
Hurt.
Or be somewhere else.
Okay. I'm saying you going to divorce because you don't support? You going to divorce because you don't support?
And for the listeners that's listening, so I am just trying to understand from different aspects and different angles.
I'm not saying those decisions are going to be easy. But you do have decisions that you have to now make. You have to decide which thing is going to be your priority.
Hit it one time.
You got to, and because unfortunately, at the end of the day, listen, when they patting you on the face with a shovel, your life was your life, regardless of who else was in it. You got to be satisfied with that thing at the end. You got to be content with, yes,
I did it.
I did it. I gave it my all. Or, you know, because don't listen. Don't be blaming other people for your life.
Yes, you are.
Not because at some point in time you figured out. At some point in time, it was you. It might have been somebody else in the beginning. You might have had a hard upbringing. You might have had it tough. You might have had a lot of baggage you had to undo. You might have had a lot of things you had to unwind. You might have had a lot of things you had to unravel. But at some point in time, it's the man in the mirror. It's the woman in the mirror.
Speaking of, again, Alan, this is another segue to this next bullet point. It says, plan to succeed, then plan again, because it may change.
Yeah, that's real.
Definitely.
No, because anytime you go into entrepreneurship, it's not going the way you thought. It's not going the way you thought it would. It's not going the
way you thought it would. Nope.
Never does.
Nope.
You got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to make some adjustments and then get up and go at it again.
Stay on your pivot, baby. Triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun when things start. It feels as if it's so bad that it's unbelievably bad.
Well, I think that. Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
But at the same time, I have found those challenges. It's bad. It's affected me in the right way because as you overcome the challenges,
right?
Yeah.
You get stronger.
Yep.
You get better. You get sharper. So then you look for the like. I'm no joke. I'm looking for the challenges, not the that work. I'm looking for the okay. Let me move. Let me adjust. Let me do this better.
Yep.
Not the that worked. And it's sad. It's bad. I don't know. Something might be wrong. I might need to go see somebody. But when it goes too right,
you expect it for it to go wrong.
I'm going back and looking. I'm going back and looking to say, okay,
did I miss something?
Did I miss what I missed? Because that was a little too smooth. That went too good. Because when I go back to try to duplicate it, it don't fall the same way. Right. So I'm trying to figure out, okay. That's the fun part.
I think the part I think where we end up getting that from is I think the problem we have in our society, in American society, I would say specifically, is that every entrepreneur that we see, we only see them after they've achieved. We never see the journey they went through. We never see the ups, the downs. We don't even, what we don't see,
the failures.
We don't see any of it. Because I will tell you for sure, and I'm not saying this because I said the last thing. I know more. I'm on more than a few entrepreneurs that the wife they had or the spouse they had when they started the entrepreneur journey ain't the one they got now.
Look,
believe it.
And I'm not saying that it can't be. What I'm saying is that at some point in time they made choices, and
teasing me.
And but and listen, I only bring that up because that is. Everybody wants everybody around them to come along for the journey.
No, sir. Hey, listen.
And they
get rid of that. Get at the man. Everybody can't go. Everybody cannot go.
They can't. You had that vision.
You gotta make sure you taking the right people with you, and they go with you. And there's only one way to tell: when you moving forward and you look back and they still there.
Are you strong enough to let go?
Oh yeah.
Will you be strong enough?
Some people are not.
Yes, sir.
That's one of the things that you have to look and take into consideration.
No, see, and my thing is, I'm not one of the people that'll force you out. You gonna let go.
Or you gonna give them enough rope?
You gonna let go.
Got it.
I don't even believe in giving people rope because let people action tell you what they want to do.
Of course.
That's
your
all,
words.
Yeah. That always aligns. So don't question it. Just say watch. All right, I see what you do. All right, cool.
And sometimes as entrepreneurs too, we get caught up in, we don't listen to what people are saying.
What do you mean?
And what I mean when I say that is, especially if we have people that are in something with us, we don't listen when they are essentially saying, hey, I don't know that I want to do this, anymore. I don't know that I want to do this to this level. Like, because then we try to like encourage them to stick around. Like, no. This is my vision, right? I'm not going to encourage you to stick around in my vision.
Listen.
I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you did.
Yep.
I appreciate you helping us get to this point. You know, we always going to be cool. You always going to have a place.
Yep.
And we're going to find somebody else to fill that spot.
That's it. No joke. That's it.
But some people have a hard time with that because they want, you know, they look at the LeBron Jameses and they look at the people that had people around them that and built for like 20 years together, 30 years together, 15 years together. But like that, there are so many more stories of the other side of that coin. We just only hear, like I said, we only see the end of the journey.
We're gonna do a for every success, this was the failure attached. I can do that like 50 something odd times. For every time I seemingly got a success, I can show you the opposite problem.
Me too.
Like this was, yo, Calvin, you did this, but you ain't see nothing. You ain't see nothing I went through, and you didn't see the aftermath of anything. You didn't see the haters. Hey, I finally got haters.
You doing something right, Lord. That old cliche.
Hey, they said dog does not bark at a parked car.
Dude, you never had. If you don't have, somebody said, if you don't have a hater, you ain't that blessed. Right. You gotta have haters, and that's crazy.
I
thought that was a joke.
I'm putting out applications and
applications for haters.
For haters. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. I don't want no haters, man.
You have to.
No, you don't have haters.
No. Listen. I said I don't want them.
Yes, you do. Okay. Yes, you do.
Right.
Yes, you do. Listen.
Well, to be honest,
haters are signs you are blessed or you doing something right.
I'm
something you're going up to.
Everybody's against me, guys.
Because I used to be until I found out I hit another level. The minute I saw legit haters, like trying to destroy you and whatever you doing or trying to knock you out of your square.
I wish somebody would, man.
No, they out there. They waiting on you. They waiting on you. Don't worry.
And
they come.
The other part of that too is that we
they got to face me.
No, they don't.
They
do it behind your back. They hit you
I got a whole bunch of those, baby. I'm talking about those ones that want to come to my face.
No, you can get them.
You ain't getting them.
You
ain't gonna see it coming.
Matter of fact, if you even see them, they ain't gonna hate in your face.
No,
I know.
They gonna good job.
We always knew you could do.
Oh my
God,
we always knew.
Oh, I got a few of those.
I mean,
look.
One of them snakes popped their head up not too long ago.
Hey, listen.
Me and Ashley had a little conversation.
We're gonna do a whole show on that alone. We're gonna do
like people doing too much out here, man.
That's crazy.
Like keep my name out your mouth.
It don't matter.
Keep my name.
Keep my wife's name.
So I think the other. So we'll get back to this list. We got a long list. We got a long list, folks, of stuff to for entrepreneurs. So,
all right.
learning. The reason I put that down is because I think a lot of the times, as you know, entrepreneurs get caught up in do all the time. Just activity, down, all the time. Grind. But if you grinding in the wrong direction, they ain't doing you no good. Or if there are better ways that you could be doing it, but you don't want to take the time to learn those, because a wise man will research what a fool takes for granted. Right? And so if we want to be wise about what we are doing, I'll put it like this. So knowing how I wanted to build SoFi Clothing, right? That dictates how I should go about the marketing, the advertising, and how I should effectively build a brand. Because I also didn't want employees. I have no desire for employees. I may have one or two at some point, but no desire for employees. That dictates how we must do everything that we do, and so I have to learn all of those avenues. Okay, how did this do? How did they do this? How did they do this? How did they do that?
You said you don't want employees?
I don't desire to have employees. I'd rather have contractors, which is what I have now. but I don't want to. I don't want the responsibility of employees. So if you want to work, like if somebody said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna work with SoFi," great. We're gonna put you on a 1099. But I don't necessarily want employees. Nope.
I'm gonna get into that later.
Can. The reason I don't want the headache of employees.
Well, I understand that.
That's really all it is.
I understand that part, but
and until in my business, in that business at least, until you are, because I did the math, until you're doing about I don't know, I think it was like 17,000 in revenue a month. It doesn't even make any sense financially. Because I'd have to, in order, if I had employees, I'd be bringing everything in house.
we'll get into it.
But anyway, so you gotta learn your space, whatever space that is. You gotta learn that space. So if your space is real estate, you gotta learn that space. If your space is nonprofit, you gotta learn that space.
I'm telling you.
If your space is traditional business, you gotta learn that space. If your space is online business, and then you gotta learn the industry within that space.
What is your activity that you are going to do? Is that part of the learning process that you talk about?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't put that in the same category because that learning time, like I'm in that. He said I'm in that right now, in that space of I got to go back and read a bunch of books. I got to go back and read things to learn, to grow, to develop, to implement it in the future.
Right,
like 2025.
Charlie Tremendous Jones said, "You will be the same person you are today, 5 years from now, except for the books you read, the classes you attend, and the people you meet."
Yep.
And so that's where that learning comes from. You will be, so if people are trying to be entrepreneurs and aren't willing to do it, the learning piece, as they used to say in the South, right? You got a hard road to hoe. Look it up. People don't know what that means.
I'm excited.
So that's why I say learning, because you can shave time. Because why repeat somebody else's mistakes if you don't have to? And today, you really don't have to. So why repeat the mistakes that somebody else made if you can read a book or go to a class or take an entrepreneur to lunch and not make those same mistakes?
People out here scary, bro.
And that's fine.
That's
true. That's fine.
And
they don't want to take the risk like that.
No,
so.
but that's good. That's good to me. If you don't have that risk tolerance, I like it. If you don't like that risk tolerance,
man,
then entrepreneurship is not for you.
That's why there's a 90% failure rate first year.
But that's fine.
Well,
but that's you.
Are you putting that towards a fear factor?
I think a lot of it.
But if you know 90% of the time, okay, the minute you say I want to go start this business, okay, 90% or 90% chance you gonna fail. Like before you even get started, why start?
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So most people will say that. Okay, so since I'm gonna fail,
the rate of failure is so high. Why
should I start?
So we used to when there were more of them on TV, we used to watch a bunch of bar rescue, hotel rescue, where they had a legitimate, bona fide, certified professional in the
Brick
field
and mortar
come in and essentially be like, okay, these are the things that are wrong in your business. Mm-hmm. These are the things that we are going to help you fix. These are the things you're going to have to continue to work on after we leave. And that's what they did every show, right?
Yeah.
You would be surprised the number of entrepreneurs that like, they don't know what they're talking about. This is my business. I know what I'm talking about. Like, clearly you don't. Clearly you don't.
No, but that's the thing. That's one thing that entrepreneurs have a hard time doing is letting go of their idea
being
of
coachable.
What works. Yeah, because I will admit I've done that.
I've
done that twice. I've done it twice.
Please tell me what works.
No. I've done it twice. I can admit I've done it twice. Yeah. Because you have something in mind. You have an end game. You have a vision, a process, a system, whatever. You have it in mind.
Smutting up my vision with
right. But then you get an outside person. You get an outside set of eyes in the same field and come and tell you, hey, in this industry, you should approach it this way to get these results you're looking for, because you're actually looking for this result. You're so in love with your process and your thinking that you can't get the result you're looking for. I did that twice.
You denied the information?
I had them do a whole evaluation, went top to bottom. I got the emails because I go back and read them. Mm-hmm. You know why? Because they're right. Because they're right. They tell you, hey,
no way.
You're doing. Hey, listen. Do it.
Music for me. I need a second.
Oh, okay.
I need a second. I need a second.
Twine time.
This is Twine Time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining. I just wanted to point out that this man said a while back, or he always says, "Did you like the results?" So when he had an expert come to him and tell him how it's supposed to be and how it looked, he said no. But now he has realized that he had made a mistake, and he's learning from those mistakes. And thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate y'all. Once again, this is Twine Time.
Hey, that's real. I don't care what nobody says. That's real. I'm just glad. I'm happy that I have the documentation to say this is what you're doing. This is what you did wrong. Most people don't have that alone.
They don't.
They don't have that simple thing that say, "Hey, this is what you want. I promise you, it'll change your life. This is what you want. This is how to get it. This is what you're doing wrong."
Right. Which is true, because like in my case, I know exactly what I need to do. The only thing I got to figure out is the how. And if I had the finances, I could pay somebody else to figure out the how. Mm-hmm. But because I don't have the finances, because we're talking about with a comma in it. Because I don't have the finances for it to pay somebody else to do it, I have to figure out through trial and error.
That makes sense.
Which would be less expensive but more painful.
Hey, do a part two.
We're gonna do a part two.
I'll just say
I'm about to jump in with both feet.
Yeah, on that, so we close it out. I had an accountant say, "Hey, this is what you can do better."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I understand what you're talking about.
Part two. We're going entrepreneurship part two, accounting money.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
For you, it'll be next week. For us, it'll be in a few minutes.